Okay, thank you everyone for coming to our third annual Freedom and Solutions Rally. Yeah! We've got a whole list of very excellent speakers. We had some people travel from Vancouver and Nanaimo just to come down and see us and give us some powerful speeches. So first off, thank you to everybody for traveling here and all of our local residents for showing up. All of this stuff is going online. We also produce a television show, so hopefully this stuff will get on cable access television with our television show Freedom Free for All. In case you don't know, my name is Josh Steffler, and I'm with We Are Change Victoria, one of the co-organizers. With an awesome group, We Are Change Victoria, powerful people, advocates for liberty, freedom, solutions. We're not just here to talk about the problems today. This isn't a protest. This is a rally to gather people that have solutions to the problems we face. All too often, these protests and stuff, they can outline the problems very effectively and they can convey the anger that people are feeling, but then they leave without viable solutions or without knowing what to do. So there's nowhere for them to vent their anger, or even worse is some of the solutions that they leave with are solutions of violence and violent change, which that's not a solution. Violence is another problem. So definitely we're here to advocate for peaceful solutions. And I just want to say that all of the speakers here are independently representing themselves. Some people are from We Are Change Victoria. A lot of people know the crew at We Are Change Victoria, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are part of it. Everybody's here representing themselves. So glad to see so many people here interested in talking about freedom, interested in talking about solutions. We don't have a long time, but we do have a good time, and we have a few good speakers. First up, I want to introduce Greg Hartnell, a concerned citizen, a historian, a native-born Victorian, and an independent journalist. And he's going to talk to us about the history of eugenics. So let's welcome Greg Hartnell.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to thank the Creator for all of this. I believe we are creatures of love, and we are conceived in love. We propagate our human race through love. And so basically, like the hippies said in the 60s, it's all about love and peace, man. So, but not for the globalists. The globalists have a different agenda. It's called Agenda 21. And Agenda 21 is the so-called governance aspect of the ongoing New World Order tyranny under which we're all suffering, as a matter of fact, right now. It's not a future proposition. It's a de facto reality. As Rosa Koire says, we deal in conspiracy facts. And the fact of the matter is, Agenda 21 is a depopulation program. It's based on a pernicious, anti-human, eugenicist, global genocide agenda. That's what it is, folks. They want most of us gone, gone, gone. 90% reduction in the human race is what Agenda 21 calls for. And this is based primarily, I mean, it goes back to the dawn of time, I suppose. From the Garden of Eden, there's always been a cosmic battle going on between the forces of good and evil. And I would suggest to you, without a shadow of a doubt, Agenda 21 is evil. It's death cultism, because it traces its philosophical origins right back at least to the time of Reverend Thomas Robert Malthus. Now, he was an Anglican prelate, and he was also an economist, apparently, and he was also a statistician. You'll notice with all the eugenicists, or quite often, eugenicists are mathematicians, scientists, they're statisticians, they collect statistics, they're obsessed with quantification of data. That's what scientific, evolutionary depopulationists are all about. They want to improve the human race, supposedly. We're not good enough. There's something wrong with us. We're useless eaters. And so we have to be exterminated. Our carbon footprint is too big. Somehow that's threatening the ecology. And Mother Earth is imperiled. Now, who is Mother Earth? Gaia, they call her, or at least some of them do. So, who was Gaia? Gaia was an ancient Greek goddess of the earth. She apparently represented the earth. And so for a while there in the ancient pre-Christian Hellenic history, some people worshipped Gaia. Let's just put it that way. And then latterly there was an academic revival, and some historians, particularly naturalists, feminists, and people who had an anti-human agenda decided that Gaia was the planet. They want to worship the planet and at the same time control all the resources, including human resources, on Gaia. That's what they want to do in Agenda 21. So what I'm suggesting to you is there is a line of development in philosophical thought, in intellectual history, and it goes from Thomas Robert Malthus to Charles Darwin and his Origin of the Species theory. That's a theory pertaining to selection of supposedly the species sort of evolve somehow themselves. And so what the naturalists are always worried about is species extinction. They can't explain it other except in terms of some of them adapt better to circumstances that they find around them, and so the ones that adapt to thrive, and the ones that are not able to adapt die. They're obsessed with death. They're obsessed with the idea of species extinction, and so that gets into conservation biology. Okay, I've got 5 minutes. Thank you very much. And that gets into the whole obsession that the ecologists have with preserving what's left of what they call diversity, biodiversity. Staving off the inevitable extinction that will happen of all these other little critters because of us, because of our nasty human intrusions into their biosphere. Now, they also have another nutty idea in Agenda 21, and that's called the Wildlands Project. Has anybody ever heard of the Wildlands Project? Yep. Nature needs half. Check that out. I'm giving you references to go and do your homework here and now, folks. So when you listen to this video and I say something like Wildlands Project, That's a reference to a globalist idea that's incorporated into Agenda 21. And what does it mean? It means that in all these parks, for example, that we've got in the Capital Regional District, if you go to the Capital Regional District Parks Department website, you'll see their new sustainability strategy. And it's based on nature needs at least half. Half of what? Half of all the water and land resources in the region. That's what they want. So they start with the Parks Department, the Capital Regional District Parks System. They want to sequester from any human intrusion whatsoever at least 50% of the Capital Regional District Parks System. That's phase one. Phase two is a lot more sinister, a lot more tyrannical, and frankly should really terrorize the local real estate development industry. And that is, these people in the Capital Regional District Parks Department want to control fully at least half of all land and water resources in the Capital Regional District. Now think about that. That's not just the parks I'm talking about here now. That's not just the parks, folks. That's at least 50%. And why do they want at least 50%? To maintain the supposed balance between Mother Nature, which will be sequestered and off limits to human intrusion of any kind, and us. Why? Because we screw things up, apparently, every time we have anything to do with Gaia. I suggest to you the whole thing is pernicious, it's evil, it's a very anti-human agenda, because when you get down to it, at the United Nations, everywhere they go now, in concert with the World Health Organization, the International Bank, the World Bank. John Perkins wrote all about it in his book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. They go to these poor countries and they give them sterilizations. They give them abortifacients. They give them contraception. They give them so-called family planning. You're going to be an educated middle-class woman if you do what we say. You're not going to have more than 2 babies. That's it. Otherwise, your motherland or your fatherland is not going to get the loan from the big globalist bank. It's evil, folks, and we've got to stop these eugenicists. They've creeped into all our municipal governments and the sustainability planning departments. So that's where you find them, folks. Did you hear what I just said? They're going to be taxing us for our rainwater. The Creator creates the rainwater and the sunlight. We don't get enough of the latter. And we're all getting sick because we have 22% less good, healthy solar radiation here happening because of the chemtrails. So I'll let you go into the science and the mystery and the so-called governance of all that. And God bless you all. I love you all. And it's great to see John here tonight, or this afternoon. Thank you for, and I remember Clackwine.
Thanks, Greg. That was great.